All right. Welcome, everyone, back to your yoga practice. This is Kayvon. I wanted to talk to you today about a principle from psychology called the flow state. And I know we talk about our yoga practice and the flow that we have of the breath to movement. And the flow that I'm talking about in this sense is actually a state of being wherein we're not too overwhelmed by the level of challenge and we feel kind of bogged down or we feel frustrated with that, but we're also not so inactive that we're feeling bored with something. So, in today's practice, the intention for us is going to be finding the right tone or the right quality of our efforting. And so, in doing that, we're able to find this zone of proximal development where you're able to not be too overwhelmed with how challenging something is, but at the same time, learning to regulate yourself so that you're not kind of just sitting in a place of stagnancy or boredom. So we'll get started off lying on your backs and have your knees bent, feet to the floor. Let your arms come out nice and wide. Allow the knees to fall together towards the middle. And before we take any serious movement with the body, just begin to feel sort of for a baseline measurement. What's the quality of your thoughts? Is there some mood state present? Perhaps feeling eager or excited. Whatever is there, just notice it clearly as it appears. And take a little bit deeper breath in through the nose, filling the lungs, feeling the chest lift. And exhale it out the mouth. Just one more like that, big, slow, round, and voluminous breath. And exhale it all the way out to the bottom, feeling the navel gently drawn towards the back of the spine. And just start to keep a nice balanced breath in and out evenly through the nose. Nice. And then begin to walk the feet in a little bit so that your heels are in line with your hips and bring your arms down by your sides. So we're going to move through about 5 rounds of moving bridge pose here. As you inhale, begin to lengthen your tailbone forward, lift your hips, and start to take the arms up overhead. Then as you exhale, just slowly begin to release one vertebrae at a time as the arms come back down by your side. So moving with a sense of control, trying to move one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, lifting up. Feel the hamstrings engage, tailbone lengthens. Exhale to lower all the way back down. Just 3 more like that, building the breath, building your sense of presence. Exhaling brings you all the way back down to the floor. And one more, inhaling. And exhale all the way back down. And just pause, take a breath in and out, and feel. And then bring your shins to hover above the floor so your knees are right above your hips, shins are parallel to the ground, and take your arms out wide like a T shape. You can press the backs of your hands into the floor, take an inhale. Then as you exhale, just draw both knees over to the right, but don't let the knees come all the way to the floor. Keep your left shoulder heavy. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, draw the navel to spine and slowly bring the legs back up. Inhale at the center, squeeze the shins together, exhale over to the second side. Knees to the left, right shoulder stays grounded. Inhale here, then exhale, navel to spine, bring the legs back upright. So you can repeat that again with the knees bent, or try it with straight legs, reaching the heels up towards the sky, squeezing inner ankles, inner big toe mounds, spread the toes, inhale. And exhale, feet over to the right. Maybe try to touch your hands with your feet. Inhale, hold that stretch. Exhale, bring it back to the center. Inhale, hold the center. And exhale, over to the left. Inhale, hold that stretch, straight legs. Then exhale back to the center. Take an inhale, scooping the heels up, spread the soles of the feet. Then exhale, knees bend, feet to the floor. Good. Just roll yourself up to a comfortable seat, or you can roll to your side and press yourself up. We'll take the right shin in front of the left. Make sure your sitting bones feel equally grounded. As you inhale, lift up tall. Then exhale, begin to fold and hinge forward. So just nice and easy. Again, feeling into your body here. Can you regulate the amount of effort to match where you're at? It's important that we learn to start to read the cues from our nervous system. Like if the breath changes quickly, doesn't mean necessarily that something's wrong, but we should be able to detect that and notice that. And slowly start to bring yourself back upright. Take the right arm out to the right, bend the elbow towards the floor, take the left arm up and overhead. Just get a nice side body stretch, like you're extending that left ring finger all the way from the left sitting bone. Good. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, just switch. Take the left shin in front of the right. Again, make sure your seat is equally grounded on both sides. Inhale, long spine through the front of the body, sternum lifts. Then exhale, just fold and hinge forward, nice and easy. And start to feel for yourself the moment that you encounter resistance. So the moment that the hips start to feel some sensation that's noticeable for you. And breathe into that feeling, letting your attention stay here, stay anchored in the practice of movement and breath. Rising up slow with control. Take the left arm out to the left. Spin the bicep away from you, elbow towards the floor as the right arm extends up and overhead. So feel like that right ring finger is reaching and lifting that whole right side longer. And then maybe even turn the left chest up towards the ceiling a little bit more. Last inhale. Then exhale, slowly come back up. And then as you cross your shins, come forward onto all fours in a tabletop position. And as you start to move through your cat and cow, which is a pretty normal pattern for us, maybe you mix it up a little bit by turning the thumbs out, getting into the wrists and the forearms. As you spread the palms, root down through the shins, and inhale, chest scoops forward and up. Exhale, press the earth away and round deeply. Good. Just two more like that, slow and controlled. Feeling the whole front of the body and the back body. And notice along that continuum of your spine, where is it that you feel the most connected? Where do you feel the most integrated in your movements, from right to left, from top to bottom? Come back to neutral with your spine, release the wrists, and then tuck your toes and send your hips all the way back towards your heels. So your weight is now on your heels, bringing the ankles just a little bit closer together. Inhale, separate your arms wide apart, elbows bend, chest lifts. Exhale, take right elbow on top of left elbow. Palms press together firmly. Soften your shoulder blades down your back. And with a clear intention to keep the muscles around the face, the eyes, and the jaw soft, see if you can keep That effort of squeezing the elbows together and the shoulders softening down. Good. One more inhale. And exhale, release the arms wide apart, stretch the chest open, almost like you're pulling the arms back against some resistance. Exhale, left elbow on top of right elbow. Garudasana arms. Palms pressing in, spreading the fingers. Make sure the elbows are lifted about in line with the shoulders. And then relax the shoulder blades back and down. Take one more breath, keeping even your gaze soft, the way that your eyes are looking. Can they just stare out into space? Inhale, reach the arms apart. Expand the chest. Exhale, hands come to the floor. And then bring the tops of the feet down to the mat now. Squeeze the inner ankles. And then as you shift your weight back, reach the arms back. You can grab a strap and pull the strap apart to open the chest, or if you can interlace your palms easily, go ahead and do so. Front ribs stay knit in. As you pull the arms apart, expand across the chest, the heart. Those of us that have spent quite a bit of time recently at a computer might be feeling some closure here in the chest. So really feel collarbones are drifting apart. Good. Last inhale. Then exhale, release. Hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And in your down dog, feel like you can lengthen your sitting bones up and back as the top of your head just releases between the hands. And then bending one knee and then the other, just slowly bicycle the heels down, getting into your calves and the backs of the legs. Good. One more each side. And as you come back to your stable downward facing dog, can you solidify the hands and the feet back into the mat while maintaining softness in the face, the mouth, the jaw? Inhale here in dog pose. Exhale, step your right foot forward, back knee to the floor. And you can stay onto your fingertips or come onto fists, then drop your chin in towards your chest and gazing at that left thigh. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths. You might start to feel this in the left hip flexor psoas. Press the top of the left foot back and down as you drag the left knee forward a little bit. Really nice. One more inhale. And just inhale, begin to lift the head back up. Bring your hands to your front thigh. Draw the torso upright. Again, take the arms back, interlace your palms, and start to stretch your chest open. So keep the front ribs knitting in so you're not just letting them flare. Chest expands and your gaze can even lift. Try to pull both feet towards one another and hug the outer hips together. Last breath. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big breath in your down dog. Try to spin the inner thighs up and back as you almost pull your yoga mat apart. Feel what that does to the legs. And then exhale, left foot forward, back knee down. Again, you can come to fingertips or fists, reaching long through the crown of your head, then tucking your chin in as you gaze at that right thigh. Now, this is where you choose to modulate how much effort you add to the pose. But press the top of the right foot down and then start to try and drag the right knee forward any amount. Remember, the amount of sensation we're going for is that it's interesting but not overwhelming. See if you can keep your curiosity alive throughout the practice. Good. And then begin to lift your head back upright. Bring your hands to your front thigh, guide the torso up. Take the arms back, this time opposite interlace of the palms, so opposite index knuckle on top. As you gather the feet towards one another, lifting up through the front of your hips, try to pull the arms apart and lift the chest. So again, the tendency is to let the ribs flare, but try to keep the ribs in and lift from the heart. Little bend into the elbows as the arms open the chest. Last inhale. Exhale, hands down. Step back into down dog. From down dog, inhale, rock forward into your plank pose. Strong arms, feeling the forearms pull towards one another, chest reaches forward. Exhale, lift up and back into downward facing dog. Again, inhale, forward into plank. Feel the inner palms stay heavily rooted. Navel to spine, thigh bones pressing towards the ceiling. Exhale, downward facing dog. And once more, inhale, plank pose. Feel the space in the upper back fill, and then exhale, lower all the way to the floor. And then bring your hands in line with your chest, setting up for a cobra pose. Tops of the feet press down, all 10 toes, even those pinky toes. And then inhale, scoop the chest forward and up as the shoulder blades descend down the back. So rather than trying to find the biggest extension in your chest here, can you balance the effort between the front body and the back body? So the back of the body is engaging just as much as the front of the body is lifting open. Take one more inhale. Exhale, lower down. One more time, cobra pose. Inhale, drag the arms back like you're pulling your yoga mat back to slide the sides of the waist forward, gazing down the cheekbones. Exhale, lower to the floor. Tuck the toes, press yourself back, downward facing dog. Good. And take a nice deep breath in your dog pose. Gaze forward towards the front of your mat, and then walk, step, maybe hop to the front edge. Spread your toes. Feel like there's space between all 10 toes. And if there isn't, maybe use your hands to just feel what that shape is like with a little bit of the color of your mat between each digit. Then bring your hands to shins, lengthen your heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Kneecaps are firm and lifted. Exhale, refold to lengthen your spine, releasing head and neck to the floor. Again, inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana, ground the inner and outer edges of the feet. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands center into the heart. Just take 2 balanced breaths. Feel everything that's appearing all in its own place. Notice the quality of your awareness of the body, the breath. And inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale as you fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhaling, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, inner thighs back. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, we rise, press into the feet to grow taller. Exhaling, hands come to the heart center. One more time through, same rhythm and tempo. Inhale. Exhale carries you forward and fold into yourself. Inhale, extend your heart out into the world. Exhale, fold deeply and ground. Inhale, we rise, hug the outer shins together. Build yourself a little taller. And exhale, hands come to the heart. Step into some lunges now, inhaling. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take your right foot back. Keep your back thigh straight. And just inhale, take the arms back, palms facing down, and hug the outer hips together. Breathing here for 3. See how long you can get from the crown of the head through the back heel for 2. Last breath, maybe you take the arms overhead, just one inhale. Choose if that's right for you. Then hands to the floor, step back into plank pose. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down. Stretch the arms back, palms facing down. Inhale, begin to lift up into Shalabhasana for 3. 2, feel that work of the back body. 1, lower down, press back, down dog. In your downward facing dog, take a big breath in, lift the right thigh up. Exhale, knee to nose, step forward. Inhale, rise all the way up now to crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. This time, hook your thumbs, right thumb on top of the left, and pull the arms apart to grow taller through the sides of the waist. One last inhale here. Press the ball mound of the back foot and drag it forward. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold deeply. Inhale, we rise, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take one steady cycle of breath, releasing palms down by your side. Feel the energetic effect of the inhale and the exhale. On your inhale, the arms rise, reaching back up, extending through ring fingers, maybe even look up. Exhale as you fold forward, releasing gaze towards the navel. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot back. Back thigh stay strong and straight. Firm the outer hips together, and then stretch the arms back for 3. Press into the feet for 2. Last breath, maybe the arms extend forward. Keep grounding into the feet. And exhale, hands down, plank pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower to chaturanga or floor. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Strong legs wherever you are. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, low and controlled. Exhale, knee to nose, step forward. Keep the back thigh strong. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Right thumb hooks on top of left this time. Pull the arms apart as you lift through the sides of the waist. Last little bit here, push the ball mound of the back foot down and try to drag it forward. Get a little more extension in that right hip. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees this time. Inhale into the chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise to stand and release the arms. Take a breath. So I like to take a moment and just pause, feel what is the right amount of effort for you. Are you feeling energized? Are you feeling fatigued? Just check in with your experience. And as you're ready, bend the knees, come back into the chair pose, Utkatasana. Sinking your hips low, bring your hands to your heart. Keep your hips back, shift weight onto your right foot, and then lift the left foot an inch or 2 off the ground. Take that left leg straight out to the side. So this right hip is stabilizing, hugging in. Right shoulder stays over right hip. And then you're going to move the foot back in space, keeping the toe mound down, and bring it forward in space. You're going to do that twice more. If it's too easy, bend deeper into that standing leg. If it's too challenging, come a little bit more upright. But keep your attention here with your breath and your movement. Good. And this time, as you take the leg back, now bring the knee in towards your chest. Take your left ankle on top of your right thigh and draw the hips back as we come into a figure 4. So you can bring the hands towards the floor, use your blocks if you need them, but draw your right hip back and in, heart lengthens forward. So, a good way to notice if your nervous system's feeling overwhelmed is to check in with the breath. If it feels shallow or scattered, perhaps the mind is a little bit distracted. If you can anchor your attention, feel the breath expanding throughout your body. Maybe if you're still comfortable here, you move into the arm balance of Ekapada Galavasana, getting that left knee deep in towards the left armpit, taking the hands forward, shifting your weight forward as you lift up through the inseam of the right leg. And wherever you are, you're breathing and trying to find a sense of symmetry. If you went into the arm balance, slowly come back. Push into that left ankle against the right side to rise up. Release the foot and just try to find stillness. Try not to move or fidget. Let your feet ground back into the floor and feel the lingering echoes of sensation. And we'll take side two. Bend the knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. Hips sink low. Bring the hands to heart. Now, as you shift weight onto that left foot, keep hugging left outer hip in, stabilize. Right leg reaches straight out to the side, and the toes glide forward, and they glide back. So just keeping this left hip, left side of the pelvis stable while exploring some range of motion in the right hip. And last time here. This time as you bring the right leg back, you're going to draw your right knee in towards your chest, externally rotate the thigh, placing the ankle on top of the left thigh. And then fingertips can come towards the floor, hands to blocks, or you can stay even more upright with your hands at your hips, just feeling what's happening in the pelvis. Wherever you are, just take 3 more steady breaths. If you tried the arm balance on the first side, try it again here on the second side. Those right toes will hook around the left tricep. Right knee goes deep into the right bicep. As you shift your weight forward, keep lifting up through the inseam of the left leg. Find your steadiness, and with control, rise all the way back up. Again, pushing that outer ankle down against the left thigh, and then just find stillness. Try not to fidget or just move out of impulse or habit. Just observe without reacting. Right, so we're going to step the left foot back, turn the feet wide apart, setting up for a wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, lift your chest up, and exhale, fold forward at the hip creases. So just check with yourself, make sure your ankles, knees, and hips are all in alignment on the same plane. And then keeping the inner and the outer edges of the feet very grounded so that the inner and outer edges of the feet feel equally balanced in weight. And then bend your right knee, draw your right hip back, and press the left foot away from you. So actively stretching that inseam of the left leg. You're not going to lean towards the bent knee. You're going to try and keep your torso centered. Inhale, slowly press back to the center. Then exhale over to the second side. Left knee bends. Push your right leg away from you. Grounding through the foot. And then just a few more times, side to side, maintaining the length of your spine as you deepen the space in your hips through this range of motion. When I teach this, I often remind students to try and feel like there's a scale on both feet and that scale maintains the same amount of weight, even though the bent knee side feels like it's going to get heavier. Keep trying to root through the opposite sole of the foot. And then come back to the center. Bring your hands to your hips. Lift up through the heart, press the hamstrings forward and rise up. Good. Right toes turn forward. Left toes follow. As you bend deeply into that front knee, extend the arms, come into Virabhadrasana 2. Gaze down the right fingertips, wrap the right sitting bone under. And as you inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up, and gaze straight out to the side. As you exhale, like you're pressing the air down with the arms, extend the arms and bend deeper into that front knee like you're pulling the right heel towards you. Just 2 more like that. Inhale, arms lift up, gathering the heels inward. Exhale to rebend, Virabhadrasana 2. Last one, inhaling and exhaling. From here, inhale to hinge forward. Exhale, right hand down to the inside or outside edge of the foot. Keep pressing. If it's against the outer edge, keep pushing that outer knee against the arm, scooping the right sit bone under, and then left arm reaches up and overhead. Breathing here for 3. Steady breath, soften the eyes for 2. And 1. You're going to reach that left arm up. Start to straighten through your right leg. You might need to shorten your stance a little bit, as I have. And slide that right hip crease back and hug the outer hip crease in as you come into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Ground through the outer edge of the back heel. Lengthen the tailbone back towards that inner back ankle. And then rise all the way up, strong, straight legs. And we'll pivot over to the second side. So that left knee is forward now. So that's going to be Virabhadrasana 2. Slowly bending down. Feel like that outer edge of the back foot stays resisting you moving forward. But as you inhale, arms come up. Lengthening the sides of the waist. Exhale, rebend. Like you're pulling left heel back towards the right ankle. Last 2. Weaving the breath into the movement. Last time, inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, extended side angle, Uttita Parshva Konasana. Right arm extends overhead. And scoop the left sitting bone under. So if this is too far for you, left elbow comes on top of the thigh. But continue to ground into your feet, making the hips feel lighter. Last inhale. Exhale, reach the right arm up and begin to straighten that left leg. Again, you might shorten the stance by scooting the right foot in. Left sitting bone wraps under and turn the chest. For 3. Breathing to expand awareness throughout your body for 2. Without judgment. And 1. Push into the outer back heel. Rise all the way up. Pivot the feet all the way around. Plant your palms, downward facing dog. So now that you're feeling into the legs a little bit more, see if you can find more length in your downward facing dog. Lifting the thigh bones up and back. Allowing the top of the head to release between the hands, lengthening the spine. Inhale, take the right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, step forward. Good. Inhale, rise into your crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. And then take your left elbow on top of your right. Good. Keep pressing the palms together as you take a little bit of a back bend here. Keep the front ribs in, back thigh firming. And then release. Left hand to the floor. And then you're going to turn to the turn both sets of toes over to the right. So you're going to come into a modified Vashisthasana, or modified side plank. With that right foot working out in front of you, almost like a kickstand, take your right arm up. And you have the option to stay here Or if you need a little bit more activity, take the right foot on top of the left. Even needing further more, grab a hold of your right big toe and extend it to the sky. Wherever you are for 3, 2, 1, back to plank pose. Hold your plank, find steadiness, find balance, find self-composure. And then lower all the way to the floor. And just rest your head for a moment. Let your head soften into the hands. Take a big breath in and out. Good. So from here, you're going to slide your forearms forward, coming into Sphinx pose. As you press into the tops of your feet, feel the kneecaps firming up and try to drag the arms back. Now, as you exhale, you're going to pull the front ribs in, begin to lift the hips, lift the thighs, so you're on your knees, wrapping your tailbone towards your back heels. So it's like a modified forearm plank. And then try to lower the thighs, hips, then lift your belly, chest, and ribs back into Sphinx. Good, and one more time, front ribs in, slowly lifting the hips, thighs, and now tuck your toes, come all the way into forearm plank. So the thighs lift, everything lifts away from the floor. Breathing here. Remember to keep the effort at a place where you're not overwhelmed, but you're also not feeling bored here either. Those of you that want to walk the feet forward, come into dolphin pose for a couple of breaths. Pressing chest back towards the shins. The legs are working to lift the sitting bones up and back, finding more depth into the hip creases. Good. One more breath wherever you are. And lower the knees down, child's pose. Sink the hips back towards the heels. Stretch the arms in front of you. Come back to feeling the depth of the breath in your body. And then slowly press to all fours. Tuck the back toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up and back. And exhale, knee to nose, step it through. Rise up into your crescent lunge. And then take the arms apart. This time, right elbow on top of left elbow. Palms press firmly together, elbows stay lifted. And try not to make this movement into the low back as you start to take a little back bend into the upper back. Feet stay grounded, eyes are soft. Good. And then begin to release the hands, take the right palm to the floor. So I like to take this right hand a little bit further in front of the shoulder head, so it's not back behind it. And then roll both sets of toes to face the outer edge of your mat, this long edge of your mat. So you're not letting the hips sink down here. You're really lifting up, and this right bicep is spinning forward. Keep the left hip on top of the right. You can stay here. You can take left foot on top of the right, making sure to stack those hips. Or maybe you grab your big toe and extend into full Vashisthasana. For 3, 2, 1, find your plank. Hold your plank. Take a breath in. Then exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Good. Again, rest your head. Take a breath in and out. Good. So from here, we're going to come into a Sphinx pose once again. So back into your Sphinx. Elbows, have them a little bit forward of your shoulders as you drag the arms back. Now, ground equally through both sides of the pelvis and press the feet firmly into the mat. You're just going to lift, and it might not feel like very much movement, but it takes quite a bit of effort to stabilize everything else. And just lift your right foot an inch or two off the ground, feeling the hamstring, calf, and glute all pressing up. And then release that right foot back down. Same thing over on the second side. Left leg lifting from the inner thigh. Arms are dragging back, chest scoops up, left foot back to the floor. Good. Keep the arms dragging back, chest scooping forward and up, navel to spine, and then lift both legs. Again, not very high, just enough to feel the legs lifting for 3. Reach back through the inner ankles for 2. And 1. Lower all the way to the floor. Big breath in and complete breath out. Good. So at this point in your practice, I'm going to invite you to come into headstand or handstand, whatever you're working on in your practice. So we're going to have about 2 minutes here. If you're taking a headstand, you might stay up the whole time. Those of you that are looking towards building strength for your inversions, coming into that dolphin pose with a block between your hands or a couple of blocks, depending on your shoulder width, can be really helpful for helping you learn to wrap the outer arms back and lift and lengthen through the side waist. So really building this strength here is a precursor to many of our inversions that you will explore in your yoga practice. Other options are Sirsasana A, so coming into your headstand. And if you're coming into headstand, I really prefer that you lift up rather than use momentum. Keep wrapping the elbows in, lifting the shoulder blades away from the ears, and containing through the front ribs. Now, if you're someone who's really comfortable upside down, I want you to focus in on maintaining samavritti, or an even fluctuation of the breath in and out. So maybe taking a 4-count inhale, matched with a 4-count exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's take 2 more cycles. And with as much control as you can manage, coming back to the floor, taking a child's pose, just 1 or 2 breaths, especially if you were upside down, taking a child's pose might feel really nice here. And then slowly pressing up to all fours and back into downward facing dog. From your down dog, step your right foot forward between the hands, back knee to the floor. And then I want you to bring your right hand to your right knee as you lift the torso up. So keep that left hand free. And make sure you're on the top or the front of that left knee. So you might need to get a little fold over of your yoga mat or a blanket to support that knee. You're going to bend your left knee, reach back, grab a hold of the outside edge of the foot. Now, start here as your foundation. If this is enough sensation, if this is enough demand, then you stay. If you need more, keep drawing that left heel in as you press the right foot down and keep the outer hips stabilizing so they're hugging in towards one another. Another option is to take that left hand and get the hand to the top of the foot as you spin the outer ankle forward, coming into an Ardha Bekasana variation here, turning the chest towards the front edge of your mat. If this is plenty, stay. If you need more, take the right arm up and begin to let the hips lower down. For 3, soft eyes, maybe even a little smile on your face, like you could have fun here. For 2, and 1, release that back foot. And we'll just take this right leg now into a pigeon pose. And rather than kind of sinking down into our pigeon, I want you to tuck the back toes under. You can come up to fists or fingertips here, and then just lift the backside up as you press the right outer shin down. So this is a little bit more of an active pigeon pose. I want us to press the right outer shin down and the top of the ball of the left foot down, and just try to pull those 2 points towards one another, create a little traction. Then use that to scoop the belly up and lift the chest. Last inhale here. Good. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Just take a few slow and deep breaths in your pigeon pose. And notice for you too, it may depend on the type of posture where your attention is most easily harnessed. And by that, I mean, sometimes in our more demanding poses, it requires that we focus a little bit more. So can you see if you are able to bring that same degree of focus into just pleasant sensation of stretching in the right outer hip? That same sense of clarity to all that's unfolding in this moment. Slowly walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Step back into your plank. Option to take a vinyasa. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale in your dog pose. Feel the thigh bones press back. Exhale, left foot forward, back knee to the floor. And then bring your left hand onto that left knee as you lift the torso upright. Good. So again, make sure you're on the front part of that right knee. Bend the back knee and reach back and find the outer edge of the foot first. So right away you might notice, okay, that's plenty for me. Then you stay. Bring your focus and your attention into the breath and the quality of your awareness. Option 2, you might start to spin that hand forward, coming into the Ardha Bekasana variation. So that right ankle wraps towards the right outer hip. And keep dragging the left heel back towards you, turning the chest up. Breathing here for 3. Option to lift that left arm for 2. And 1. Control, release the back foot. Hands come to the floor. And left chin comes across your body. So it doesn't have to be parallel. You can even sneak it a little bit closer towards you. But stay up onto the fingertips or palms, maybe even blocks. Back toes tuck under and lift that backside up. As you press into the ball of the back foot and the left outer shin, make those points really heavy into your yoga mat, and then pull those 2 points together as you lengthen the tail down and draw the pit of the abdomen up. One last breath. Can you move the shoulders down? Open the front of the spine without dumping into the low back. And then release, back knee to the floor. Maintain a bit of effort here of those legs pulling towards one another as you lower. And just 3 or 4 slow, controlled breaths. Becoming aware of every sensation appearing in its own place. As movement practitioners, yogis, we tend to like to move quite a bit, especially those of us that are drawn towards a vinyasa-based practice. So sometimes it's interesting to notice when there's less movement, how our mind likes to respond. Last inhale. Exhale it out the mouth. Just let go of any tension there. Slide the hands back under your shoulders. Press back into plank pose and take a vinyasa. Or skip it and we'll meet right back in downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Complete breath out. Let it go. And lower down to your knees. Good. And then we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold for uh, Upavishta Konasana. So take your legs out to the sides and bring your fingertips back behind you for a little bit more support as you straighten through the heels, flex the kneecaps, and then just begin to fold and hinge forward any amount that feels right for you. You might take the arms forward, but try to keep this balance of the front body opening as the back body brings you into deeper fold at the hip creases. Really active feet here, soft eyes, a few more deep cycles of breath. And carefully just begin to walk yourself back upright. Bring your hands to the backs of your knees and bring the legs in. So now we're going to set up for Marichyasana A. So the right leg will go forward, left heel, bring it in towards left sitting bone. Take your right arm back behind you. Inhale, lift that left arm. And you're going to lift that left sitting bone up as well. As you exhale, reach forward, forward, forward. You can even use that back hand to give you a little more extension as you come forward and place your left hand out to the side. This might be enough here. If you have the space, internally rotate and wrap the arm. Maybe find a bind, wrapping that right arm back around. Keep pressing into the inner big toe mound rim of that left foot as you wrap and round forward towards your right foot. And then breathe here. Can you maintain your breath even in a position that feels somewhat compressed or perhaps condensed? Last inhale, and slowly release. Extend that left leg out in front of you. Now I'm going to give you two options here. You can take a reverse tabletop, so knees bent, feet to the floor as you roll the chest open, lifting up, or you could try it with straight legs. I'm going to go with straight legs for today, but really make sure the chest opens here. Inhale, chest rolls open. Exhale, press down to the feet, lift the chest. Try to get the soles of the feet to the floor for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release down. And just feel that back bend for a moment. And then take your right knee and bend it in. So that heel is just about a fist away from the sitting bone and also a fist away from the left thigh. Left fingertips back behind you. Inhale, you'll lift that right arm up. You can even lift the right sitting bone here. And then exhale, reach forward to the inside of that right knee. And you might take the foot around a little bit, or the hand around rather. And if you are here and this is all you can go, then stay here. Maybe you internally wrap the arm and take the left arm back. So the wrapper is the grabber. That's a good little cue to remember for your binding postures. So my right arm is the one that wraps. So I'm trying to grab the left wrist eventually with the right hand. Ground into that right inner ankle, big toe mound rim, and round forward. Couple breaths. Good, and slowly release. Take the right leg forward. And then just come to lie down on your backs. So any last little bits of movement that you need here, if you want to take a little twist or just windshield wiper the legs from side to side, releasing any tension in the low back or the hips. And then our most advanced posture of the day, of the practice, coming into Shavasana. Or the corpse pose. And just feel this state of mind, the state of being. There's something that it feels like to do your yoga practice. In fact, there's many different variations and subtle distinctions that happen throughout the practice. But in this moment, can you just let your attention be wide open, just like space? Noticing whatever appears clearly, just as a mirror reflects back whatever arises, just as it is. And if you feel at all any emotion or mood state present, just notice that too as a pattern of energy. And begin to slowly deepen your breath in and out. And for the next 3 breaths, just see if you can cover each breath entirely with your awareness. The moment the inhale starts to the passing of the exhalation. And start to find little movements in your hands and feet. Roll out the ankles or wrists. And maybe stretch your whole body out long, like it's the first thing in the morning. And then draw your knees in towards your chest, one at a time. Roll over slowly to your favorite side, using your bicep like a pillow for a moment. And then begin to press yourself up and slowly come to a comfortable seat. And bring your hands together at heart center as you salute and honor the essence of yoga within yourself. And just really take a moment of gratitude for setting aside this time, for giving yourself the gift of paying close attention on purpose in a non-judgmental and compassionate way with yourself today. And in gratitude for one another in this time to be alive and share the practice. Namaste.